This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. And we are calling it iPhone.
I've never been much of an iPhone guy. I've always had Android phones for the most part, and before that I was pretty much a Symbian loyalist. It's not that I've never liked Apple's game changer, it's just that I found the OS to be too restrictive and the hardware to be lacking a few features that I could get on Android. However, since the original iPhone, things have changed quite a bit, and the new iPhone X is probably both the least iPhone-like device they've made, at the same time being the most iPhone-like as well. This is Sandeep from Rev Atlas, and this is our iPhone X review. The iPhone X is much more compact and easier to handle than most of the current iPhones. It does feel like one of the best premium smartphones in the market at the moment. The glass at the front and back feel good to hold, but they are fingerprint magnets. The sides are made of stainless steel, which looks great, but is tricky to keep free of fingerprints and are prone to scratches. However, it also appears to make the phone much more durable in case of drops or falls. The phone is still IP67 rated for protection against dust and water. The screen is perhaps the most important aspect of a smartphone, however it's perhaps even more the center of attention on an iPhone, which was the device that started the touchscreen revolution. While iPhones have had revolutionary displays for the most part, the past few years have been dull with low resolution, huge bezels, IPS displays, while the competition has moved much further ahead. The iPhone X changes all that. We finally have an OLED display on the iPhone X that's gorgeous to look at. While scientifically speaking, the screen-to-body ratio might be better on a phone such as the LG V30, the iPhone X surely looks more the part. The display looks like it has floating icons, and the touch polling rate is at 120Hz that makes it super sensitive. It isn't as smooth as say the Razer phone, but it's tough to find a fault with the display. The sunlight legibility is great, the color reproduction is on point, and the new aspect ratio makes it really nice to read stuff as well. The notch at the top, however, is a bit of an eyesore for people who love to watch videos. While I personally don't find it much of an issue otherwise, some people are clearly not fans of it, but it's something that you can possibly get used to. You'll need to zoom into videos to make use of the wider aspect ratio display, but that also results in a portion of the image or video being eaten up by the notch. An approach that's very unlike Apple. In fact, there are few apps and games that embrace the new aspect ratio and notch, while others are still used to the older format. One thing is for certain, most, if not all developers will soon adapt to a new layout to please Apple. Performance is really fluid and I have had no issues with day-to-day usage. Having the fastest processor and a really powerful GPU on board does make things a whole lot better, but it's tough to really find tangible improvements over most apps and tasks in day-to-day life over the previous generation iPhones. Unless you're someone who does intensive work on the phone, the difference isn't too noticeable. In comparison to the iPhone 8 Duo, the main difference is where the iPhone X feels more stable and doesn't seem to have that many bugs. Since there is no home button, users have to rely on gestures to go home or multitask. Swiping up from the bottom bar takes you to the home screen, while swiping up and holding opens a multitasking pane. Control Center is also now a swipe down from the top right corner, while swiping below from the notch or the top left corner will give you the notifications. However, this new way of using phone seems a bit unnatural and not as intuitive as Apple's phones of the past. Hopefully they'll make some changes to a UI and make it more user-friendly. Although the fingerprint scanner is now gone, it's been replaced by Face ID. The Kinect-like system that has been made smaller upfront and housed within the notch is extremely high-tech. We did a video to show how it scans your face using infrared rays and also showed the difference between the 10 and the OnePlus 5T. Face ID is pretty quick, but the 3-step process is less than ideal for someone who wants to unlock their phone quickly. Also, you need to pay attention to the phone to unlock it. You can disable it, but it becomes less secure, so it really isn't recommended. Face ID can also be used to purchase or install apps. You just need to double press the power button and the phone authenticates with Face ID. The cameras at the back have now been updated and feature improved optics and larger apertures, while still remaining the same 12 megapixels in terms of resolution. The front-facing camera can take portraits too now thanks to Face ID technology. We'll be doing a full-length camera review of the iPhone X pretty soon, but until then, here are some samples to help give you an idea on what to expect. The call quality is pretty impressive over the earpiece and speaker. The loudspeaker gets impressively loud, especially for a smartphone of this size, and is currently one of the best in the market. The earpiece also provides audio and creates a stereo effect with the bottom firing speaker. Audio quality is just as good as the iPhones of the past, but the lack of a headphone jack will mean that you have to either use the bundle adapter or go the wireless route. Battery life is only average on the iPhone X. It won't last heavy users like me an entire day of use, and the lack of a bundle fast charger makes it difficult to recharge your phone without waiting for too long. Anyone who wants a fast charging method will have to buy a separate high watt charger that's sold separately and at quite a high price. Wireless charging is finally on the table thanks to a glass back, and all Qi standard chargers work by default. Every year, Apple says that this is the best iPhone yet, and while that's true for practically any phone that they release, it seems like it holds true this year for sure. The iPhone X is not the best iPhone yet because it's the newest iPhone, but is the best iPhone yet because it involves the fewest number of compromises a user has to make compared to other smartphones in the market, and also brings in several groundbreaking technologies to the forefront like the original iPhone. You can purchase iPhone X from the link in the description below. That's it for the video guys, thanks for watching, see you again in the next one.